And we have the pleasure of welcoming in Mr. Ben Mitchell of the San Diego Legion.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt.
You know, Peter Malcolm was on the show last week. He kind of threw you under the bus.
To be fair, I actually asked, I was supposed to be on last week and I threw him under the bus a little bit, but then I believe he was 4 hours late for the call, which is...
Well, 15 hours late because we did it the next morning.
Which is typical of Pete, really. Like, he misses multiple meetings. He's never in the right kid. He's always late. You know, it's just typical of him, really. Yeah.
Well, he's a hooker. I mean, he by nature he's allowed to be a little wacky, right?
A little bit, yeah. We'll
like, who's kidding who? If you're playing number two, there's something going on there.
Yeah, you're missing a few screws in your head, definitely.
Pleasantries are now officially ended. We're going to take you down brick by brick, Mr. Mitchell. You ready? All right. You were born in Nottingham, England, but basically raised in Cork. Is that true? That
is true. Born in Nottingham, and then we moved over to Ireland when I was 6. And basically grew up in Ireland. Went to school, went to college in Ireland. And then I've been over in the States now since 2018.
When England plays Ireland, who are you rooting for?
Ireland.
When Scotland plays England, who are you rooting for?
Scotland.
When Wales plays England, who are you rooting for?
Wales.
Really?
Yeah.
When France and England get together in Le Crunch, who are you rooting for?
Maybe England on that one.
Okay. All right, you're captain of the Irish tanning team in San Diego. Who is Philip Rivers?
The former quarterback of the Chargers.
Oh, all right. You just crushed Peter Malcolm, who didn't know anybody on the San Diego Padres. Follow-up question. Who's Tony Gwynn?
No idea.
19 years with the Padres. All-time great. Statue of him outside the stadium, Ben.
Baseball wouldn't be my strong suit now.
All right. I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself on San Diego questions. What branch of the military has a base in San Diego?
Marines.
Coast Guard. Who has the third fastest 100-meter sprint time on the team?
Go with Matias Freire.
My intelligence tells me that it's you.
Oh, really? No, There's no way. There's no way.
Speaking of Ryan Mattias, he says you're an unbelievable dancer.
That is not true.
So
I'm probably easily the worst dancer on the team.
Well, you get to answer the follow-up question. Who's the worst dancer on the team?
Yeah, I'd definitely be up there. Maybe like Paddy Ryan. He's pretty bad, actually.
Paddy Ryan, yeah, I would imagine.
The thing about he fancies himself as a bit of a dancer as well.
Oof, that's the worst guy. I know Paddy. Yeah. He ain't no dancer.
No, he's not.
He ain't no twinkle toes, that's for sure. Back to some other sports questions.
Love this.
Have you ever thrown a baseball?
Yes, when I was a kid. We actually did a couple of family vacations in America. I mean, my brother had a baseball and a baseball mitt, but wouldn't have thrown one since then. My shoulder doesn't really let me. I had a shoulder repair a couple of years ago, and I don't think I could throw a baseball or an American football right now.
All right, so we're going to rule out a contract as a relief pitcher for the Padres.
It's not happening.
Can you dunk a basketball?
Yes, if I'm well warmed up. Yes.
Well, there's no quantifying this. You have indeed in your lifetime dunked a basketball.
Yes, that is correct.
Which just makes me even more jealous of you as we continue here. If you won the lottery and could build a summer escape estate in Ireland, where would you build it? We need specific.
Maybe somewhere in Kerry, like Waterville or somewhere like that.
And can you go swimming there at any particular point in the year, or is the water too cold?
You can go swimming for about a month, maybe in a warm July.
Does the team have a sunblock sponsor? Because there's a lot of you guys that could really use the sunscreen.
We actually don't, but it's something we've talked about in the past, and it's very much needed. I'd say it's one of our... it's a pretty high figure on our budget, our sunscreen allocation.
And final question, you played in the centers in youth rugby, and with this alleged speed that you have, and you do have speed for a big fella, why the hell aren't you playing in the back line?
Yeah, you're right. I did play in the centers till I was about 18, but yeah, basically I got too tall. I was too tall.
You were 18?
Yeah. I had a big growth spurt when I was about 16, So they kept me in the centres for another couple of years. But once I got to college, they were like, you need to be in the second row. You're 6'7", you're waist out in the back line.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, you could, if I'm in the back line, I don't feel like tackling you coming at me like a charging giraffe, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as an insult. I'd actually act like I missed you. That's probably why you're the professional rugby player and I'm not. You have anything you want to say to the San Diego Legion fans?
Just stick with us. I think it's our last home game next week, so we'd love to get a really good crowd out for it. It's obviously been a disappointing month or so for us, but we're still in the playoff hunt. Even though it's a little bit out of our hands, you know, we're going to be pushing hard these next few weeks and, you know, try and secure that final playoff spot. Well,
the beauty of your division and this league is that other teams can knock off anybody on any given night. And you do have this race where teams are going to be beating up on each other, including Houston and Seattle, while they're fighting for that playoff spot too. So, San Diego fans, don't get out of it yet, because
it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
It's not.
Ben Mitchell, thank you, sir, for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me on.